Alright, I'm going to try and make this quick. I don't have much battery on my camera. But, so you're working with the Kobalt KHT 240 40 volt hedge trimmer. And you pull the trigger. I got mine working now. But if you pull the trigger and nothing's happening, you can hear the motor trying to work, but the blades aren't running. What I found out, I'm going to take this apart again just to show you guys what all went down, what happened. I was probably working this a little harder than I should have, clearing some brush, and I might have been, running something a little bit thicker than it needed, trying to chop it down. And so if you run into this problem, hopefully this will be the same issue that you have, and it's not that bad of a fix. You need a Torx and a regular screwdriver tip, Phillips. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is pop the battery. Then there's going to be 3 screws, one here, one here, one here. You pull those out, and inside there's a little blue tab on each side of this. You just got to pull it out with your finger and pull up, and then this whole piece will come off. So I'm going to show you that real quick. Alright, I removed the battery. I'm going to pull these 3 screws. And then, like I said, here, let me pop these 3 screws out. Inside here, there's a little blue tab down here on one on each side. I'm trying to show you here. Right there. Is that a little blue tab? Well, there's going to be one on each side. You just got to pull those in and then lift this out. Okay. Pull it in and up. Pull this side in. Up. Okay. So that comes off. Just like that. Now this thing came off on me before when I pulled it apart, but I found out after I put it all together that all you have to do is pull this apart nice and easy, and that'll come out. Okay? That's all you gotta do on the top. Then you gotta take this handle off. There's a screw on each side. These screws are the 2 longest ones out of the whole bunch. Okay, so I just popped the screws out. Now I'm just going to slide this back and forth, pop it off like that. Okay, hope you guys can see all that. Alright, now I'm going to set it on its side, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 or 10 screws coming out. Okay, try and dump these out without losing them. Okay, so that's all the screws. Alright, so now this top just pops off. You just got to pry it apart here. Comes off just like that. Alright, now the problem is down in here. If your blades stop working, what I found by having to take it all apart, switching my bits here, so I'm just going to pop these 4 screws out of the top of this. Now I'm pinching, I'm holding this back. I'm trying to hold all this together, alright? Because once I take this apart, it's going to take the pressure. Oh no, wait a minute. These two screws, I pulled these off, and I put that, ended up, and okay, I'll just take it apart. Now there's a little bushing right here. Make sure you don't lose that. Alright, right now I'm going to take, I have to, on the top side of this, you see those two nylon nuts, locking nuts? Those two locking nuts spin right off, and then there's a tapped steel plate in there that still holds this all together. So you just take these two nylon nuts off, just like that. Okay. Flip everything over. Now I'm just gonna, now this is where I'm gonna hold everything together, like this. Take this apart, this apart. Now there's two spacer bushings holding these. There's a gap in between here, and that holds that gap and makes everything tight. There's that little bushing right there. Okay, hopefully you guys can see all this. Let me tighten you up a little bit. Okay, I just took that bushing out with the screw here, or with the bolt. Alright, now so this whole thing is going to come apart from the gearbox, just like that. And there's a little metal bar on the back side, and a washer. Don't lose all your grease, unless you have more to put in it. There's a washer that just fell off the back side of this. It actually goes right there. Okay. I'm going to set this aside. Okay, now so what happened, let's see if I can get this so you guys can see it here. Okay. Now if you look down inside there, when I spin these, when I go back and forth with this, you'll see that, try and see that move inside there. I guess that's not going to work that way. When I spin this, here we go. So when the motor spins this gear inside there, it's got a oblong channel that runs. I don't know what you call that, but what happened was that race, or whatever that is in there, got sandwiched in between the two. And what I had to do was, I took a pair of whatever would fit in there. These ended up fitting in there. Alright, so then I just took this, put it inside here like this, very easily, and you know, I try not to break anything, and I just turned this until it lined back up. Now that it's all lined back up, I can put it all back together. But that was the problem inside there. It become misaligned, and the motor wasn't strong enough to turn this to break it free. So that's the fix. If that fails on you in the future, that's how I fixed it. So now I just got to put it all back together, and hope that the second time that I put it back together now, because I made this video for you guys, hopefully it all works, because it did work before, as you've seen. Okay, so yeah, I'll go all the way, put it all back together now. So this washer, I'm gonna put that bar back on the outside here. take this washer, put that on that shaft right there. I'm going to take this whole thing, flip it upside down, and stuff it back in its hole. Now, sometimes you got to line this this gearing back up if you turn that, like I did. If you don't turn that, but you're going to have to turn it if you're taking it apart to fix it. So you just got to wiggle that back and forth to get that back in there. It's not a big deal. Use whatever means you can to get it moved. There we go. Okay, so that's lined up. Put that little spacer bushing back on there. I'm going to put this back together first so it just makes it easier. Put that on there. Almost in reverse order, but not really. Just putting this part on here because it holds everything together. Keeps that gear from getting misaligned. Makes everything happy. So I'm going to screw this back together. Well, ease of maintenance for this particular tool. It's a plus. Back in business. Alright, well there you go everybody. Hopefully that helps you if you run into that same problem I did. If you don't overwork your tools or use them to their capacity, then you won't have that problem. But around here we kind of make things happen regardless of what we got. So, well, that's there you go. If you get, like I said, if you got the same issue I did, if you run into the same issue I did, and yeah, I mean, hopefully that helps you out. You know, I was a little worried about taking it apart. I think it's still under warranty, so I could have just brought it back and got a brand new one. But you know, only took me 10 minutes to diagnose the issue, fix it, put it back together, and I have still a working tool, and I didn't have to waste gas and resources. You know, no sense in bringing something back if it's a simple fix like that. And if you're able. So hopefully you watch this video and you run into the same issue, and this helps you out. And if this, you know, somebody else that this might help, share it, please. That's what I do it for. I try to help everybody out, you know. Try to put the information out there as much as possible. So rate, comment, share, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Cheers.